young woman in Gubio local government area of Borno State has reportedly taken her own life after being forced by her father to marry one of his friends. The tragic incident occurred around 6:20 p.m. on Sunday. Sources say the victim had repeatedly opposed the arranged marriage, insisting she was in love with someone else. Local child protection volunteer Buka Fatami Gubio described the death as heartbreaking and preventable, noting that emotional pressure from her family pushed her into despair. He called on human rights organizations and law enforcement agencies to launch a full investigation and ensure justice is served. Gubio also urged parents and traditional leaders to respect the rights of young women to choose their partners, stressing that forced marriages are a violation of human dignity. As of press time, neither the police nor the Borno State government had issued an official statement on the matter. Recently I did stumble upon a similar report as this of young girls young girls turning down these marriages to older men. And a particular video that caught my attention on one of the social media platforms was a grown-up man, crying that the government in his country had taken away the right for older men to marry little children. He was so sad about it. He was crying on the internet to the tune that the government decided to revisit it. And now it's currently on the standstill. Nobody is sure yet at the full report as regards, is this going to go on in that country, that this law is going to be removed, or with a will? Because the man was more hinged on religion, saying that, religion, by their religion, is permissible to get married to younger children. Where then is the agency of these little children and young women? Let's talk about it. What are your thoughts on this report?
I mean, it's such a sad story. As sad as it sounds, it's the reality of many African society, especially, in the sense that some religions allow it. And the reason why I feel it's sad is because the world is advancing. We know what is right and what is wrong, but because a set of people want to satisfy their, permit me to say, flesh, they would go to the extent of, hiding under the cover of religion. And this story is just like the example you made. If I'm sure that news was probably from Sudan or South Sudan, not sure.
Right.
The part of Sudan. And
Somalia.
It's Somalia, all right.
Right.
So it's a scary thing, right? And to also think that some fathers will 100% give their child the way to such relationships it just reeks of, it's almost like slavery to me. The same slavery that back then people were selling their brothers and sisters. Literally what some parents, some fathers are doing, selling their daughters to men. So it then brings the question of, what do they see the female gender as? What do they see women as? And in as much as it pains me, it breaks my heart half the time, you see the concept of religion always wins in cases like this. Just like this story. Not to jinx it or anything, but you find out that nothing is going to come out of it. The moment they flag, religion over it, the Sharia court comes in, everything just dies down. Especially with the fact that the woman, the young lady, committed suicide herself. So there will literally be no case to work on. And I mean, it's a delicate issue, to be honest, because of course religion is involved. But I feel like we as a country need to be much more fixed. We need to be much more. Our justice system needs to be, what's the best word to use? I mean, fixed is a good way to say it, but we need to be much more intentional with the justice system that we operate in Nigeria. Why is it that some sections have some sort of flexibility and some sections do not? Religion-wise or not, right? I feel like at the end of the day, the law of the land is supposed to supersede any religion. And
right.
If the law of the land says underage marriage or forced marriage is wrong, then no religion should be able to override it. But we keep we keep, living on the fence with these things, and that's why things like this in our society in Africa will still keep happening. Let us all kick against this thing. Let governments, in Africa, let everybody say no to this thing.
Right.
Religion, religion is more than just marriage. Why not focus on the spiritual part of religion rather than, you know, forcing young girls into marriage all in the name of religion? Makes no sense to me.
Right. Now, when you look at the whole scope, you've gone, deep into this and talked about how we need to come together. But for a long time, there's been an outcry. You talked about laws. We do have the Child Rights Act. We have all the Violence Against People Prohibition Act. And we still have this sort of things repeated. Do you think it's because people feel under the guise of religion, the arm of the law cannot get to them? Do you think that is why we still have this going on?
That is why. That's why. I mean, that's the whole entirety of what I meant.
Right.
By saying religion always, topples the law of the land. And when I say coming together, I don't just mean you and I. I mean people that are at the top echelon of government, people that are at the top echelon of religion, especially the religion that makes these things permissible, right? I don't want to use the wrong words, but let's say the president says this thing is wrong. I expect top religion, clerics, and all of that to come together as well and kick against these things, right? I feel like if you can start with that, then every other people out there, civilians, both Christians, Muslims alike, see that, okay, the person that is governing us as a body of this particular religion,
right,
I said this thing is wrong. Even if it was something I was thinking I would do, I would obviously not want to do it because literally the main body has kicked against it. But in a case where nobody talks about it, especially the bodies involved, especially the heads of these religions, when they act as if, when they don't speak about it literally, it just means it can keep going on. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Right.
I do not want to directly mention, and all of that. But it's all about saying everybody come together. The top echelons of these religions, the clerics and all of that come together, community, government, release statements, let the legal system also put a stamp on it. So that when these things happen, it's also a crime,
right,
under what kind of law, the justice system, the Sharia, it should all be a crime. And, like I always say on the show, religion has been a blessing, but most times it seems like a curse because people then use it to carry out all kinds of heinous acts. Because it makes no sense to me why a father would give out an underage girl. Sometimes it's not underage, but most times, especially in Somalia, for example, when I saw that clip, it was pretty scary and sad because I wonder how such a girl will grow up in such a household. And that is why when they grow up eventually, when they are, I'm trying to paint a picture, and when the husband they are married to wants to give her their own daughters, they literally have nothing to say because they literally went, you get there
through the same process.
Exactly. So it's just an heinous cycle going on, and putting it under the shade of religion is such a tricky thing. But at the end of the day, we all need to come together and kick against these things. There are societies where it has been, voided, right?
All right.
But it has not in this part of the world. We are all just saying we have non-profits, we have people crying out loud every time, oh, this is wrong, this is wrong. The law of the land has not firmly said it is. Or rather, there's a contradicting system that allows it. And I mean, what sort of justice system is that if we are not all on the same page?